So uh, mm, the thing is that when you understand that the universe is mind and that the universe created you that have the ability to think about infinity, it means that actually the finite universe that we can perceive through radiation, particles, waves, and all of that is just a construction to experience a slightly aspect of what the mind of the universe actually is. So, uh, and then you understand that the perceivable universe is only perceived because we are in a point of evolution that we managed to perceive something that was impossible to perceive before because it was infinite, like in a quantum level, in a um, there's some for me it's very funny that scientists say sometimes, oh, we just discovered that, and it's like I mean, like the Indians knew that like 6,000 years ago. Like they just call it mantra. But okay. uh, but scientists love to say they just discovered. uh, so um, they discover that all the universe is just a proton, one proton, only one. And the only reason why we perceive a lot of protons is because of the quantum mechanics that makes it vibrate so high that it's perceivable as many. But actually, it's the same proton positioned in all the possible points of the universe, projected in a quantum level. So actually, there's no many protons. There's only one proton that is perceived as many. So it's like, what is that? Unity. That's unity. That's the truth. The universe doesn't exist. It's just a perception from unity. And unity is not that everything is connected. Unity is that everything is one, and that one is infinite. That's why we can perceive so many aspects, and it's impossible to define for eternity because that unity is anything. And so how can you measure actually infinite? So yes, you can measure it saying it's one proton, but then you say, so what is a proton? And the quantum level would say it's void because it actually doesn't exist. It's just a weird perception of the mind of the universe manifesting something so tiny in the infinite of the mind, that the mind is so powerful that can project that proton into all the possibilities of the cosmos. And that's how we perceive this. So uh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And that's the unity
Can I ask you a
of
bit
the
of
infinite.
left of field question? We're talking about, I was watching one of your series, the Remember series, and you mentioned at a certain point the earth being vegetal had this way of cultivating frequencies within the humans and the beings of the planet, because we would eat and consume those frequencies, and the earth, like the earth mind, was a mind unto itself. And so then we would come into relationship with earth mind through consumption of food and also relationship with plants and so on and so forth. When you're talking about mind, I think people can sort of get locked into like, oh, human mind ever expanding. But actually, mind is a much more universal um, construct, isn't it a construct, than just a human experience. You refer to it as earth mind. Humans have mind. At a certain point, I'm wondering, like, yeah, just what, as you mentioned, like, blues earlier, in terms of like the earth kind of wanting to move through certain frequencies. We'll look at now, and I guess what's really underpinning my question is right now, even the foods that we eat, people are feeling more and more alienated from the food that they're eating because the food is feeling overly agriculturalized, if that makes sense, if I can use that as a word. Like pesticides and this and that, and food is feeling less like food than it ever has before in some ways. People are going out of the way to search organic, search farmer. But then also it is like we've been discussing in today's conversation, it is just consciousness. Things are shifting. It must be serving it in some way. And yet there
Yeah.
seems to be this, can you see the shift that I'm pointing to and questioning about?
Yeah. 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 To interpret this, the universe is mind. Mind is not in your head. Mind is everywhere. Is the essence of the universe. That's mind, and mind has a rhythm, which is the pulse of the universe. So mind is infinite, and the rhythm of mind, which is the heart of the universe, it allows you to perceive the mind. Now, through billions and billions of years of evolution and the creation of life, through creation of life from inorganic and organic structures, the chemical elements started to create ways to interpret the mind in different rhythms. Okay, so let's say, for example, rhythm 1, tum, it's hydrogen. Rhythm 2, tum, tum, helium. Rhythm 3, tum, 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 it's silica, I think. So when you start to see the rhythms of mind, now you have the particles shaping chemical elements. So the different rhythms are creating the whole, every element of universe. When this element starts to interact, the mind becomes intelligent. So you create different intelligence. The intelligence of the mineral realm, the intelligence of the vegetal realm, of the animal realm, of the human realm. What means intelligence? Intelligence means the ability to read in between lines. That's what it means. So what it means, the mind is everything, but intellegere, which is read in between in Latin, to read in between is, it's so much that I have to pay attention only to what is useful for me. So for the intelligence of stones, they have to read silica. So they read the pulses of silica in between the mind of the entire universe. So they have that intelligence. Then they start to mix silica with nitrogen, with oxygen, with carbon, and now you have the vegetal intelligence. So that's how you create the different intelligence and the design of the beautiful lecture of the books of life, let's say. So now a tree can understand an aspect of the universe because it combines specific chemicals that generate specific compounds that creates medicine, poison, food, and so on. So that's one intelligence. Then we reach to human intelligence, that by using the different blocks of other intelligence, we develop our own intelligence to interpret the imaginary world. A tree represents life, this represents this, a star represents that. So we create another type of intelligence within the mind. Okay? So there's a point when you put together the human intelligence with the animal intelligence, with the plant intelligence, with the mineral intelligence, and you mix them all together so they can speak to one another, and you create consciousness.
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.